Hello, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to have another discussion for the standard deck archetype, of course with the addition of the Streets of New Capenna set. And this build is again will have under the mid-range category because of its composition that is going to go wide in the mid game up to the late game. So without further ado, we're just gonna go to the deck. The deck is called the Bant Ramp or the Bant Storm the Festival, which this is the key card. This is from the Midnight Hunt set. It is the double feature. You can see it's the edition. You can have just the mid look. This is the actual card. So it's a 6-2 cast sorcery that may look at the top 5 cards of your library, then put up to 2 permanent cards with mana value 4 or less from among them and to the battlefield. Then put the rest to the bottom and in order. And then we'll have a flashback cost of 10 with 7 colorless and 3 green mana. So the deck's main strategy is basically just to go wide, ramping out specific creatures with some of the mana dudes in order to cast early Storm Festival, or just later on just hard cast some of the powerful planeswalkers in their lineup. So the new inclusion, we'll check first the creature's composition. We have a playset of Prosperous Innkeeper, which can produce the treasure token for the ramp. We also have Lotus Cobra, which is just also common 2-drop, which was popular before, but for each landfall it can produce a mana of any color, and it is partnered with the Skyclave Operation, which is really the deck's lone creature removal, which can exile non-token permanents up to mana cost 4 or less. Its only drawback is that when it leaves the battlefield, the exiled owner creates a token wherein the power toughness is equal to the converted mana cost of that exiled card. So it also has a copy of a Legion Angel. This is a total cost 4/3, which just fetch another Legion Angel from the sideboard. The same lineup, such as our previous discussion of this card, it just basically barrage a copy of it from the sideboard up until they can produce up to 4 copies if left unattended. Then we go with artifacts. We have a Chariot as a common add-on for the green mid-range decks. So total inclusion, it can produce tokens, it can become a good attacker, and also creates copy of target token you control if needed. So it's basically partners with the old strategy of Red and 7, wherein Red and 7 can have a 3/4 creature token with reach, in which the creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. So basically, as you go wide in the late game by ramping the upper lands, you can basically have this 3/4 creature token powerful and have the Chariot copy it and to create another threat of another 3/4 creature token in your lineup. So basically, Red and 7 will just go with the creating tokens or just revealing the top 4 cards library of its plus loyalty ability, and having more lands revealed put up to your hand while filtering the rest to your graveyard. So we go now to the enchantments. We have the inclusion from the Streets of New Capenna. We have Broker's Ascendancy, 4 copies of this. It is a Bant cost casting cost 3 to cast in total, where in the beginning of your end step put a counter on each creature you control and a loyalty counter on each planeswalker you control. So basically it will add up additional power and toughness with the +1 counters, and also have your loyalty counters increased, and hasten your planeswalkers to having their ultimate loyalty ability activated. So 4 copies of this, basically just a pump effect if you get to curve with your tokens, along with the wedding announcement, which can also give you card draw and creating 1/1 white human creature token depending on your setup. So once it flips, you will still get an effect wherein it will just pump all your creatures in a sort of a glorious anthem effect. It also gives you additional power to deal with enough attack with if given needed. Then we have Emperor. The one Emperor is also an auto inclusion because of its versatility as mentioned. But we have the new inclusion in the deck, which is Elspeth Splendid from Streets of New Capenna, wherein it has 3 abilities from its 5 casting cost of 5 loyalty counter. It puts +1, choose up to 1 target creature. It becomes having to add +1 counter and a counter among flying, first strike, lifelink, and vigilance, depending on the situation needed. And if you have -3 ability activated, look at the top 7 cards of library. Then you put a permanent from among them. You choose a permanent with mana value 3 or less, and put it on the battlefield with a shield counter it, and put the rest of the bottom of the library in random order. So it will get to produce one of your best permanent cards. So given the lineup that you have 3 mana cost for the announcement, Broker's Ascendancy, also Skype Operation can be your option in having permanent to assist Elspeth Splendid's -3 ability. And also its ultimate ability of -7 loyalty. You can create 5 3/3 White Angel tokens with flying. It's basically to sum up, if not check, can deal just enough alpha strike damage on your next turn. So given the option from Storm the Festival, you can just basically ramp up 2 Planeswalkers, a Chariot, or an Ascendancy, and any other combination if needed, depending on what you would choose once you get to cast the Storm the Festival. Then you will have the various distribution for the lands. So Bant, so expect pathways to fix your mana cost early on. Blue and green. We have Black Ranch Cloth pathway for green and white, and also a few Dream Root Cascade for blue green also, and Deserted Beach for blue white, along with the Sparras Headquarters, the new card from the Trinoms from Capenna. This is Forest Plains Island, but it just comes to play stop. But the option of having to cycle it in the late game is also very relevant and crucial if needed. Along with some pathways more also, blue white, overgrown farmland for green white, and some basic lands, and also a lone Busiju for utility card. So overall, you can check on the mana cost. Its average casting cost is 3.62, so it's going to round it up to 4. So basically, you can curve if you get to play Lotus Cobra or Prosperous Innkeeper in your second turn. You can basically just curve into your fourth turn. With this setup, you can have maybe an Emperor or a Chariot if needed. But the average cost of this is basically can just be effective by around turn 3 to 4. So it's just a drawback in the main deck, but given if you can have enough sideboard to deal with aggro, then you can just basically add and adjust your mana cost or lower them post sideboard phase. So again, categories, artifacts, mortal lands, planeswalker and creatures, card types also, and the subtypes, and also have the deck tokens to use in this setup. So basically we're just more on using more around 8 of these tokens if ever you get to play this in your actual gameplay for the face-to-face setup. So overall, this is the Bant Ram deck tech for this Streets of New Capenna standard session. You might want to try this for your MTG Online or Magic the Gathering Arena grind. Then just feel free to check on this list and maybe just comment on this video if you would have any other suggestions or recommendations on what other cards that we might have included in this list. So again, thank you for checking on this video. Do hope you like this. Click like and subscribe if you do, and until the next standard upload and deck tech.